When I first heard of Good Fortune, I immediately thought of The Preacher's Wife. And then when I saw Keanu Reeves' Angel Wings, I thought of Michael. I mean, they at least borrowed the wings that were on John Travolta's back, right? Good Fortune is a dramedy that leans more into the attempted comedy than the drama, and it was written and directed by Aziz Ansari. First off, my hat's off to Aziz for his directorial debut on a feature film. And this doesn't really seem like the kind of movie that a first-time director should or would take on. There's just so many different stories going on at once, people swapping places. There's a lot of moving parts, so props. But don't worry, this isn't one of those indie anthology flicks where all 7 characters are living their own lives, doing their own thing. They never really converge into the same story. Nor is this a body swap movie like Freaky Friday. I don't really like either of those franchises. I said a minute ago that this movie leans more into the attempted comedy rather than the drama. And what I mean by that is it leans into the lighter stuff. So there's really no like key tearjerker moments in this movie. It doesn't get as heavy as you think a movie like this might have gotten. And also I say it's attempted comedy because I never really laughed that much. Maybe a couple of small chuckles here and there. But for an R-rated movie, this was gentle humor, more in line with a Nora Ephron movie. And you'd think that Tom Haverford would be proud. Especially with Seth Rogan in this, you'd expect some harder laughs, some edgier jokes, a couple of bongs and some pipes. But this movie is very restrained when it comes to all that R-rated comedy stuff. But Aziz Ansari steer clears of the typical Seth Rogen humor that you would come to expect. You've also got Keanu Reeves thrown into the mix. And even as the angel, he has conflicts to resolve of his own. Aziz clearly didn't get the memo that you don't give Keanu Reeves speaking lines. That's why he's so perfect as John Wick, because he shoots and he never asks questions. I don't think it's too much of a hot take to say that Keanu isn't a natural-born actor. His line delivery always sounds like he's just reciting what he memorized an hour earlier. But oddly enough, he's really endearing in this movie. Maybe it's just because we already know and love Keanu, so I'm more than willing to call it a win that we got him cast in this good-natured movie. And I like the conflicts this script sets up. It's not your typical It's a Wonderful Life story where our guy is depressed and the angel has to convince him that his life is worth living. There's also a moral component added to this where our guy has to choose to give up the life of the 1% and go back to being unemployed and hard on his luck. So when you watch it, you'll see that there are stakes for everybody involved in this story. And this one's a hard movie to rate because is it a comedy that's not funny enough? Is it a drama that's not emotional enough? I feel like I'm in the middle of a teeter-totter because it's a comedy that's touching and a drama that's lighthearted and charming. It's fun watching Aziz and Seth and Keanu team up. It's one of those movies where you go into it watching it because they're in it. Because of that, you're already rooting for them. You're already on their side because you've known them for a while. At least their on-screen persona. So I think because this movie never really wowed me or threw me any surprises, I'm gonna have to say that Good Fortune was a mid-movie. And so if you get to it, that's great. And if not, you should definitely watch an old movie called Heart and Soul. That's an old Robert Downey Jr. that I watched a lot as a kid. I don't know. I think it's because it had the dad from Beethoven in it. And I really like him because at that age and at that time, I didn't know who Robert Downey Jr. was going to end up becoming. And I don't know if Heart and Soul would hold up today. I don't know. So don't hold me to it. I might even go and rewatch it. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe so that I can see you in the next video.